Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for him. Come on, let's do this. Please help me to welcome our distinguished speakers here, Ms. Anu Bini, everybody. A round of applause for the lovely, lovely lady here. Founder Anu Bini Design Your Best Life. I invite her on stage. Please help me to welcome. थोड़ी तालियों के साथ. This is so not done, everyone. Let's do this. A big one. Come on. I invite Mr. Rohit Gupta, ladies and gentlemen, with some round of applause. COO and founder, College Vidya. What a lovely name, by the way. College Vidya, something which is very innovational. A round of applause for Mr. Rohit Gupta, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, let's make it a huge one. And last but definitely not the least, Ms. Renu Kelkar, founder and CEO, Indo-Nippon Enterprises Private Limited. Please help me to welcome her on stage. And trust me, it's like a delight to my eyes to see two wonderful ladies sitting here and promoting women empowerment in the house. When it comes to business, I don't know, but I feel like women are born business people because they are always multi-talented and multi-managers. If they can, how many of you have watched Mission Mangal? How many of you, ma'am? Have you? Mission Mangal? Mission Mangal? No? How many of you? Please raise your hand. Raise your hand up in the air. Yes. So if a lady can manage to land on the Mangal with the, home science, technology and home science ideas, then women can do anything. Seriously, if you haven't watched, you should please go and watch Mission Mangal, where this beautiful character played by Vidya Balan, she actually, take ideas and inspirations from home science, and now she, just try to amplify it, just do those all lovely, ideas, and then she goes to the her workplace and she does this lovely, lovely rocket, and then they are on the Mangal. So wow, women, a round of applause for the lovely women in the house. They all are doing wonders, and it's a delight to see lovely two beautiful ladies sitting here. Hello everybody. First of all, can we welcome them with some round of applause? Let's do this all together. Not like this. Come on, let's make it a huge one. Thank you very much. First of all, before we proceed any further and we will talk about, any particular question, I'm really curious to know your mindset when it comes to entrepreneurial, mindset, how it's different from usual mindset. Let's start with you, ma'am.
I think I got the opportunity to understand a designer mindset. So I think I have a designer mindset.
How you define it?
Designer mindset is all about looking at a problem with a design. It doesn't have to have a formula. You start looking at it and start designing a solution that fits in with everything, including the experience.
Oh, lovely. What a beautiful answer. What do you say, everyone? Can we just have some round of applause? Come on. Otherwise, it feels so lonely. We feel like we're just having a group chat. Let's not do that. What do you think, ma'am? How an entrepreneur mindset is different from an usual one?
I think the entrepreneur mindset is something that we are ready to take a risk, and parallelly we are ready to take a calculated risk. We are ready to show something different and lead the today's generations. You set the examples for others to come up and then be our next entrepreneurs. That's a challenge for everyone, but that's a strength also. That's what.
Wow, lovely, everyone. A round of applause. Come on. Okay, and now I will ask something from you, the same question. How you define an entrepreneurial mindset?
I would define entrepreneurship as one should have a risk-taking capacity. I have failed many times in my life. I have built businesses and I have failed many times in this. So I love to do experiments. Every day comes with a new challenge, and you should love to have, you should do experiments at any level, any given point of time. Be ready to lose anything that you have, because if you have, then you can build again.
Wow. Lovely answer, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And before we proceed to the next segment, I'm really curious to know your journey, if you want to just tell us in a nutshell, and also your particular organization, in which kind of sector you're working and what's your experiences. Please tell us. Let's start with Anu Bini ji. Yes. Can we welcome once again, everybody? Come on. Round of applauses. Yes. So much to learn from them, isn't it? So please help me to welcome them. It shows how much love, warmth, and blessings we are holding in our hearts for them. Yes.
Thank you so much for that welcome. I've given 2 decades to corporate, and it was at one point of time that I realized that somehow things were not working out. There was something that was missing in my life. And with that, as a seeker, I started looking out for answers, and that's how I chanced upon designing your life. And when I designed my life, I was stunned because I not only got unstuck, I had a new thinking process, and I was able to create alternatives. I was just discussing with somebody on the table, and we all are thinking of one goal, maybe entrepreneurship, but it is also about life. Life is just not one-dimensional, right? There are multiple dimensions. So we start working on all of that and start doing all the 3 together. That's when I chanced upon it, and I took it up as a passion. And I think that was the first time I got to know that we can create or we can design our futures. Basically, I'm an engineer. I've done my PhD in engineering. So design thinking is a process, of course, started by Steve Jobs, and we have amazing products that have come from there. And they have used the same design thinking principles to apply to life, because there's no one life. There is no one plan for life. It can, as your context changes, as he rightly said, there are some failures, something doesn't work. Then you have to redesign everything, and you start looking out for your future, start thinking, what is the best alternative that I can have? So, it's all about looking at your life as your best project, and start designing your life as if how would you really want to live life to the fullest. So,
Wow, what a lovely answer. In short, I think we have to be our, entrepreneur of our own lives, isn't
Yes,
it?
yes.
That's a really amazing way to define. A round of applause, everybody, for the lovely lady we are having. Now, I will ask the same question from you, Renuji. In your journey in a nutshell, and please tell us about your initiative, your organization to all of us.
So I was working in a Japanese firm. I'm having a 15 years experience, and at certain point, working in corporates and understanding their cultures, and I find there's something to do different. Then I quit it and I started my journey. Then I'm a CEO and founder of Indo-Nippon, and we design these spaces. We design human-centric spaces which influence the brand, which influence your workspace. Also, I'm a senior director and CXO level in Stylework. Stylework is a tech-based company. This is startups, and we are promoting a hybrid module, hybrid workspaces, flex workspaces. We are changing, reshaping the workspaces. India is, the emerging market where a lot of potentials are there. So with having this experience, I start up, and we are a profitable company. We are running with more than 100 team size, our presence in pan-India everywhere, and the corporate office in Gurgaon, and the regional office we have in Japan. So we have a lot to do it. I look forward, that
Wow.
we have a good journey together.
Wow, lovely, lovely. A round of applause. Thank you very much, and we all wish you a big all the best. Now I would like to, ask the same question from you, sir. Tell us about your journey in a nutshell, and of course about your organization. And you have an innovative name when it comes to your organization, College Vidya.
Yeah.
So a round of applause for that. It's very important to choose the innovative names first of all, isn't it? To attract and to make good marketing out of it.
Yeah, thank you for making me a part of this wonderful panel. Thank you. I come from a organization named College Vidya. So the problem that this organization solves is helping students finding right direction and the right courses or the right path for themselves for their career. Why this problem was identified? Like me, I come from a family of I come from a middle class family. Where my father was into a government job. So there were, our family was not a joint family where let's say my uncle was from some other profession. Many of my, joint family, we normally get a lot of advices after doing, what should you do after 12th? So there was a problem, nobody was there to guide me. So I thought, why not you start a platform where you can help a lot of students finding them out their career perspective. So we are into a process of building a platform where we can list each and every course or a university that is available on the earth and let them help find their own path. So we are building a platform. Thank you.
Wow, I mean, this is really interesting. A round of applause, everybody. Come on, let's do this all together. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed towards the next question, I request everybody to be here physically, that's great, but to be here mentally. Okay, everybody? Yes or no? All the champions, this is not the way a champion gonna react ever. So yes or no, everyone? Thank you very much. My next question is from Anu ma'am, which is, I think, not my question. This question is on behalf of everybody. Please tell us, in your experience, what are the most common strengths that successful entrepreneurs identify in their journey, and how can individuals uncover and utilize their unique strengths to foster an entrepreneurial mindset?
I think I have worked with a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of high-pot empaths. And one of the things that I have observed about them is that, of course, they have a very high level of skill. They have a very high level of intelligence. One thing that keeps you ticking is curiosity. How curious are you about knowing how something works? How curious are you about what worked? How curious are you about the person who is sitting next to you? How curious are you about this arrangement that has been made? That level of curiosity, that is one very, very important criteria. The second thing that I've observed is the ability to reframe. As you know, the esteemed panel has been speaking, even ma'am has been saying that, we all fail and we have to come up. Entrepreneurship, and not only for that matter, I think even in corporate, we all fail. Failure is a part of life, okay? So when we fail, we talk about fixed mindset and growth mindset. I'm not going there, but what I'm trying to say is that, can we reframe it? The ability of anybody to reframe their failure or reframe whatever has been working or whatever has not been working makes them tick. It is like saying, okay, this did not work for me. I don't know this skill. I don't know this skill yet. It's just about reframing. And the moment you do that, your mindset starts working. The third thing that I've observed in many of the people are that they prototype. I was just talking to someone on the table, one very enterprising entrepreneur, Mr. Sharma, if I'm not mistaken, and he was telling how he has prototyped. The ability of each one of us to prototype. Prototype meaning take a small thing, do an experimentation, see whether it works. It is not about software or anything. It is how do you prototype small things. It could be as simple as probably, just designing this table, designing it in a small way, doing one thing at a time and prototyping and testing it. That is not being in your mind, but thinking and making it tangible. So that is the third level of prototyping, and understanding that whatever work you do, it's a process. वक्त लगता है. It's a step-by-step process. It takes time. And if you can do that, they always come up being very resilient, very, very resilient and having a lot of grit. That's been my experience. Yeah.
Wow, I mean, what a phenomenal answer. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And she very rightly quoted, if you want some exotic fruits from your tree, you have to plant it well. At the same time, you have to give that plant certain amount of dedicated time and extra care and extra warmth and love, so that you can have the exotic fruits. Otherwise, you have the usual fruits and be happy and enjoy with it. So lovely, lovely answer, everybody. A round of applause for the lovely lady. Now, I would request Ms. Renu Kelkar, please tell us, as a female entrepreneur, how do you encourage creativity and innovation among your team members, and what strategies have you found effective in fostering an innovative mindset in the organization?
Okay, so mindset is that entrepreneurship is something a leadership skill, and there should not be any parity between the female and male. Both struggles are same. Both work hard way. There should not be a parity between any specific job to be given. It's equal. That's equal struggle for everyone. There should be open communication in the organizations which brings the more ideas among the team members. They come up with their ideas and exchange it. Then they feel it's like a given an importance to them, right? Nobody should be left out, that they feel low. That's very important to boost up your team size and team member, because they are your strength. If your strength is weak, then it's slightly difficult to run the organization. You should do brainstorming sessions where the people are left, they come together, they're really high valued. There should be a lot of other activities we should carry out, like we should also do a rewards and award ceremony, like those who are working tremendously in your organization. They should be highlighted in such a way that they feel it. Okay, my next project, if I fail or if I succeed, there should not be any parity between it. It should be a very healthy organizations. There should be a atmosphere with the people working together. There should not be any hierarchy, project wise given. People fail. People again. The failure is a journey which you learn. That's a success, a next success for everyone. We fail every day. We fail it. It's not necessary that every project we get that we get in such a way that we find a profit. No. The most important things is, I feel, this is the journey where we, the entrepreneur, should set our team size, and we should learn it, and we should hear out that what challenges, daily challenges they are facing it. Instead of stopping them, we should bring them upbringing, keeping a sessions. That's how you can keep a healthy organizations to grow up. Your brand image is so important, and that brand image comes from your employees. The employees are not satisfied, or the team size are not in a happy mode, then you cannot succeed any business. That's what I feel. It's a solid making our team size to your organization.
If I can just add to what she's saying, it's a very, very valid point. I think it is about how you engage with people. So as a leader, a lot of entrepreneurs get into the doer mode. Everybody's doing. So they forget to step back and look at their team. At any given point of time, when you look at your team, you should know what is it that person carries, what's the skill that person carries, and adapt his strength to increase engagement. The moment you increase engagement, it will create a culture of creativity automatically, because everybody gets involved, everybody's contributing, everybody's feeling I'm doing something, everybody's excited, and there is a little bit of me in everything, Everybody, इतने बड़े project में उन्हें छोटा सा मेरा भी हिस्सा है, and all of us, including the smallest child, even if that child is baking a cake, even if that child has put a plum on it, the child is very happy. So I think engagement, and then creating a culture of engagement. But for that, the entrepreneurs should be a little less busy, so they step back and they're able to know more about their team. I think, yeah.
Yeah, I would say that there is a word we say, fail forward mentality. The team who really are not able to succeed or not able to, there may be something, you can do a counseling, you can sit with them. That's another way of doing it in an organization to make your stream very, strong. Failure is there. But then parallelly, what I feel is that you should not increase or, encourage the toxic environment, right, in the organization. You should evaluate the team size. When you feel it to filter it, you should immediately filter, so the others are not effective,
Lovely answer. Thank you both, the lovely ladies here. Round of applause for them. And the way they quoted, I think we got two beautiful points out of it. First of all, I'm not satisfied with the clappings. I'm so sorry to say. Please, let's appreciate together. And in a nutshell, I will just, would love to summarize the way they quoted. It's really lovely to hear. The first one is, as we all know, the beautiful quote says that if you want to do something good in your life, it's okay to walk alone. But if you want to do something extraordinary and historical in your life, you have to walk with a team. So that's what we both of them meant. And last but not the least, be a leader, not be a boss. There's a huge difference. If I look back, the true leader, where I got stunned, awestruck, is the World Cup where, MS Dhoni got on the ground, where the team was actually suffering. And he, being a great finisher, he got us this lovely 6th and 6th. And when it comes to the World Cup, he was at the side, isn't it? And dedicated the victory to the team. That's a true leader does. So, wow, a round of applause for the ladies, the way they conducted it. It was really nice. Thodi taaliyon ke saath, everybody. Thank you. Now, actually, the season is all about cricket, so my mind is revolving around that only. Anyway, so next question I will love to, know from Mr. Rohit Gupta. How would you describe the role of resilience in maintaining an entrepreneurial mindset, especially during challenging times?
Well, I would say challenging times are, challenge comes every day. It's a part of your life. I'll say life is a challenge. Raising a child is a challenge. Getting up early in the morning is a challenge. So every day is a challenge. Every day you go to your office, to your meeting your team is a challenge. Finding a problem is a challenge. So my mindset towards any challenge is there always a better solution to any problem? I mean, if there is a problem, there is not only one solution to it. Go deep dive into a problem and find multiple solutions. And then take those solutions to your team, to everybody in the team, and let's get a best solution out of a problem. In my domain, when you build a website, a platform, the challenge is now our country is very diverse. So there are multiple languages out there in our country. There are multiple people coming from multiple religions in our country. So the challenge is to have your website being running all the time, should be available in every language is a challenge. So to sum up with this, I would say, Zindagi har kadam ek nayi jang hai. Thank you.
Wow, lovely answers. Okay, so now I think we will quickly wrap this panel discussion. But before that, I would love to hear from all of you, like, what do you want to suggest to a budding entrepreneur or somebody who is struggling and, still on the initial path, how to take that particular scenario to the next level and how to deal with so many failures at the time? Because when you are not experienced, it's really hard to accept that this kind of failures can come to our path. So I would like to request, yes ma'am, you can start.
So I would say to everyone who's sitting here, it's a journey. It's not a 1 or 2 day. It's a lifetime journey. Entrepreneurship is not just building a business or building assets. You're creating a lot of opportunities in communities. You're creating a lot of, the ideas in the communities. It's a, never give up. It's your dream that you're pursuing it. You are accelerating your, challenges to the maximum limit. I would say keep working, if you can't work, just sit for a day and think again and then again. You can't stop, one day thinking like it's not going to happen right now. So that mindset should not be there. Because every day this kind of questions comes when we are struggling it. Okay, I'm not able to do it. We should remove this kind of mindset. It's a journey, totally your journey. Everybody's have their own struggle. Everybody has their own stories. You should be a very thankful to the people and audience that, you're doing something very different among the entire, the communities. That's
Lovely.
What I would say.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for the lovely lady. And I will just add this to all the people who just started. In a survey, in a research, this is a fact. When you see the 100 out of 100 billionaires and millionaires of the world, if you really see them, 85% of them are self-made. Only 15% out of them are carrying their generational wealth. So can you imagine the amount of hard work and dedication they're having? And still 85%, ladies and gentlemen, the population is huge, isn't it? I mean, 85% out of 100. billionaires and millionaires are self-made. So you can imagine the probability and the chances are pretty high when you just start by yourself and not carrying the generational wealth. Okay, I really love to hear from you, sir. Please tell us the same question. What are your tips and like what do you want to say to all the youngsters who just started as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, one piece of advice that I would like to give to a new age entrepreneurs. See, I'm a first generation entrepreneur, in fact, in my family. So one piece of advice, I mean, every one of us here are solving a problem, any of the problem that we are solving. So we are in an age where technology is leading. So I would like to suggest a new age entrepreneurs find a problem, build a solution with the help of technology. I mean, today milk coming to my house in the morning is coming through technology. I mean, everything is happening through a technology. To find a problem and have a technology build around it and makes people life easier. So that is the only.
Wow, lovely, lovely answer. Round of applause. Thank you, thank you. Please tell us, ma'am.
Okay, I am a person who's had a lot of failures, and I have pivoted along many times depending upon the context of my life. I'm a person who's really pivoted. I'm a person who's really failed multiple times. And of course, I'm also first gen entrepreneur. But one thing that I've known is that you cannot pour from an empty cup. Very often what we do is, we just start off with our goal. We just start off with whatever we have. But we never think of the ecosystem. You look at all the popular people, they have very good friends. Look at Warren Buffett, he had Charlie Munger. He always had that person. So not pouring from your empty cup means that you should have a go-to person. Whenever you're feeling low, you should have a go-to person. If you don't have, better find it. You should have good friends who will always encourage you, who will always motivate. That's what she said, right? When you're discouraged, you shouldn't have friends telling that, oh, this happens, you're not made up of it. No, somebody who will help. Your network that is there. Plus, you should also know what you love. Have you somewhere forgotten what you love? If you like music, you better continue to, go for music. If you like eating jalebis, please find a time in once a week to go and eat your jalebis. What I'm telling is, this is the only vessel. This is your vessel, and taking care of it is your first priority. Taking care of the mind, taking care of the body, and you can decide what is the ecosystem I can create. Today, if you don't have, make it a point to create that ecosystem. Failures will come. Definitely it will come, and you cannot make it on your own. And ideas to बहुत सारे होते. It is always the execution, and you cannot do it with people. But one thing is, invest in yourself. Try to do, this, I keep telling my people, this is what you have. So, and one tip that I give to all my coachees is that if you have had one bad setback, one bad memory, one bad failure, you need 8 positive reaffirmations to come out of that. So don't think that you've put it under the carpet or main bhul gaya. Don't be strong unnecessarily. It will blow up one day.
Wow.
Instead of that, start investing. You've had a bad memory, create 4 events that will make you happy. Like she said, go dance somewhere, do something, just do anything. But do 4 things, at least minimum 4, 7 is what they say. What I'm saying is very mathematical, okay? 1 bad memory, 1 bad setback needs minimum 7 positive reaffirmation, positive happiness. Create positive memories so your cup is always full. Never pour out from an empty cup.
Wow, lovely, lovely. Thank you. A round of applause. No, this is not enough. I really need some more clappings, everybody. It was indeed very much interacting and a beautiful session. Thank you all our wonderful speakers for being here. A round of applause for the lovely speakers, ladies and gentlemen. Can we bring in some energy? Come on, everybody, not like this. Yes, thank you very much. Means a lot. Thank you.